This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and a warm welcome to Ravichandran Swaminathanji from Coimbatore, one of the guests who has been frequenting these channels, like all those wonderful guests who have been there with this channel right from May 26, 2020, because we are celebrating DRTSPR channel's third anniversary. And wonderful, again, I salute all those wonderful guests like Mr. Ravichandran ji. And also, prior to that, I was doing midday politics live on Sneha TV, a satellite channel, for 18 months. So wonderful guests, and all the people contributed. Again, I salute them. After that, Map TV, I salute them. Before that, it was print media, Deccan Post. I salute and I respect the space provided by the then chief editor, Dr. Goka Sridhar. Subsequently, prior to that, Niyojakavarga MLA, a senior journalist, Mr. Shankar, and prior to that, and in between, I was a freelancer wherein people were providing me all the information necessary to bring out issues as per rule of law, constitution, invoking evidential act. No enmity against individuals, nor animosity against parties or organizations. This has been the tagline of my journalism. And again, I salute heartfully to all those who have been supported, and I only hope, I endeavor to seek their wonderful support again. So, in this pursuit, we have been doing regular shows. I just wanted to have a foreword from Ravichandranji before we get into the subject, because I wanted to show the important aspects of DRTSPR channel, Citizens DRTSPR channel, Environment People DRTSPR channels. They are all in larger public interest, not forgetting my Guru Professor K. Purushottam Reddy Garu and Gurutululu B.V. Subbarao Garu, who were really instrumental in shaping up these channels when I was loaded off from Hyderabad to Kerala Pala, when I was in wilderness doing thinking of what to do, being a doctor and a journalist and a concerned citizen. How should we give information, impart information, genuine information, real information to the public in crisis situations when fear and panic was the forward during COVID-19? And that is the time they said, do a show connecting guests from wherever they are. And also, not to forget some wonderful neighbors in the name of Professor Shabarnath and all, who have been contributing immensely to keep up the technical aspects. Again, I say namaste to all of them. Because of them, and because of the spirit of all these wonderful guests coming up with all evidential this thing. And this channel, we have provided an independent platform for everyone to come discuss, debate, differ. That is the beauty of democracy. Many times, YouTube, Google, they tried to suppress, removed videos without any notice. We have been fighting that also. And Mr. Ravichandran was also instrumental in getting me a good attorney. At least he had shown me that for the first time in India, Google and YouTube does not have legal offices. We have been presenting this to Honorable Prime Minister, President. They have not taken any action, nor the opposition parties. They were silent as they were during COVID-19. Now you know who are funding these political parties. That is the fate. And in doing so, we have inherited the role of opposition as clearly explained by Ravichandranji. Your words, sir, before I show certain things.
So thank you, Dr. Reddy, to have me on your show on your anniversary, third anniversary. First thing is congratulations are due to you. Keep up the good work. Today, when the political opposition is failing the country, it is people like you, media people like you, neutral, unprejudiced media people like you, who have to show the political parties what an opposition should really look like. Opposition does not mean just blindly opposing whatever the government does. If it does something well, appreciate it. After all, it is for the country. And whatever steps that the government takes, it is for the opposition also to follow. So And the second point that the opposition parties should take from this channel is don't be funded by outside agencies. You will have to play to their tunes. Look for your own funds. You can also be neutral. Otherwise, you will be playing a different tune. So, with these words, let me congratulate Dr. Reddy once again. And, sir, keep up the good work in
Definitely.
the media, in the electronic media. Probably this is one of the few channels which is not biased towards any party. That is why it is interesting. And several times I have also differed with you, but even when we differed like gentlemen. We agreed to disagree. Was no
Wonderful.
imposition of views, and more important, when I differed from you, you did not shut me out, like what Google and YouTube did to you.
Wonderful.
Political parties will not ask Google and YouTube to shut down because they are dependent upon them. And you have shown that you can remain neutral even without being browbeaten by anybody. So, congratulations to you, sir. Keep
Wonderful, sir.
going.
Wonderful. Wonderful,
When
sir.
when the
Thank you very
going get tough, the tough will start going. Do it, sir.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'll just show certain things in regards to the channels also because I need to play. Yeah. So this is what my appeal has
कीजिए,
been.
सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए
I'll start
और
from the beginning.
कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए और लाइक कीजिए हर एक अंश संविधान, कानून और आधार पर ये चैनल में चर्चा होती है. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. എല്ലാവരും സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യണം, എല്ലാവരും സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യണം, എല്ലാവരും ഷെയർ ചെയ്യണം, എല്ലാവരും ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യണം. This channel, all these run in larger public interest. So kindly support, share, subscribe and like. I'm sharing the details on how you should support too.
No,
कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए और लाइक कीजिए हर एक अंश संविधान, कानून और आधार पर ये चैनल में चर्चा होती है. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. എല്ലാവരും സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യണം, എല്ലാവരും സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യണം, എല്ലാവരും ഷെയർ ചെയ്യണം, എല്ലാവരും ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യണം. This channel, all these run in larger public interest. So kindly support, share, subscribe and like. I'm sharing the details on how you should support too.
yeah, this has been changed to SBI. You can send through this or SBI account, and my mobile number is 9440465339. Google Pay and Phone Pay also on the same number. So do support earnestly so that we continue this good work from wonderful guests. And this channel has been connecting guests from wherever they are, from their home comforts or there, and even public issues, connecting public also from wherever they are. They need not come to the studio, nor I send them any camera. Just with the data card we can connect. ప్రతి అంశం చట్టం రాజ్యాంగం ఆధారంతో డిఆర్టీఎస్పీఆర్ ఛానల్స్, సిటిజన్ డిఆర్టీఎస్పీఆర్ ఛానల్స్, ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ పీపుల్ డిఆర్టీఎస్పీఆర్ ఛానల్స్ ప్రజాహితంలో 3 సంవత్సరాలు మే 26 2020 నుంచి ఈరోజు మే 26 2023. మీ అందరి సహాయం సహకారం అంతా కావాలా. నా గూగుల్ పే నంబర్, ఫోన్ పే నంబర్ 9440465339. ప్రతి అంశానికి చట్టం రాజ్యాంగం ఆధారం. వ్యక్తిగత వైరాలు కానీ పార్టీలు సంఘాల పట్ల శత్రుత్వం లేదు డిఆర్టీఎస్పీఆర్ ఛానల్స్ కు. సిటిజన్ డిఆర్టీఎస్పీఆర్ ఛానల్, ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ పీపుల్ డిఆర్టీఎస్పీఆర్ ఛానల్స్. మరి ఒకసారి మీకు అందరికీ విజ్ఞప్తి, బలపరచండి. అండ్ అయ్యో, ఐ జస్ట్ got into So this is the Facebook account of mine, because simultaneously live goes on both YouTube and Facebook. I'm trying to show you the Facebook link. Support them. You have another link for DRTSPR channel too. This is the Facebook this thing. You can always support, subscribe. Then I'm opening up. These are the links, and this is how the logo of these channels, DRTSPR channels, the larger. This is the parent channel, DRTSPR channel, followed by Citizens DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channel. Kindly subscribe, share, and support. My mobile number 9440465339. You have Google Pay and Phone Pay for this number. Then this is the link of DRTSPR channel, which you can always find. Subscribe, again share and support. We have changed. This is the bank account, new bank account, State Bank of India, Idi Bazar branch, Hyderabad. To this number, you need to contribute. Then you have Citizens DRTSPR channel. This is Citizens DRTSPR channel. I'm showing you all. We are very clear and very transparent. Anyone can differ and can participate on our show. This is Environment People DRTSPR channel. They are all in larger public interest. You can subscribe, you can share, and you can support us too. And then let us come to the topic of the day. And we are doing this show on the symbol of authority or authoritarianism. When the opposition fails, democracy DRTSPR channel, Citizens DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels, they take up the public issues. Because it was pandemic when the show started, channel started. It is health, education, environment. Under environment, we have got food and agriculture and legal education. These are the main fortes of these three channels, and all the issues run around that. So you are welcome to participate from wherever you are. The only thing is we don't have personal vilification or any antagonism against parties or organizations. Willfully, against law, against constitution, without any evidence. So such type of issues or shows are we don't welcome. Kindly understand, this is an independent platform. So today's topic, the much debated topic online on this SENGOL. What is SENGOL? What is going on in India? Why this issue has all of a sudden come up now on the eve of inauguration of new parliament building on 28th May 2023. There are many these things. President of India is not invited and other vice president not invited. All that which is going on, and 19 opposition parties have said that they are not going to be part and parcel of this inauguration of a new building. So we have taken up this topic, and let me play one interesting thing which have been shared by wonderful guests again. Before I ask our guests to speak on this,
Bharat is one of the most linguistically diverse civilizations on the face of Earth. And all the languages have one common root, the Shiva Sutras. Druttavasane Nataraja Rajo Nanadadhakkam Navapanchavaram Uddhatrukrama Sanakadi Siddhan Yetad Vimarsho Shiva Sutra Jalam. Theistically speaking, Lord Shiva with his Damaru created 14 sounds or principles called as Shiva Sutras, and from these 14 principles originated any and every sound that a human vocal cord could produce. A, I, Una, Ruluk, A ong I ouch hayavarattalana yamangana nama jabhayang gadadash jaba gadadash kapa chatatava chatatava kapaya shashasara hala. These 14 Shiva Sutras are the primordial basis for human speech. If we just take the first three sounds of the Shiva Sutras, A, E, U, and this is how all the languages of Bharat originate from Shiva Sutras. We, the people of India, could fight like idiots amongst ourselves about the language supremacy, but the fact of the matter is, all the languages have one common root, the Shiva Sutras. Bharat is one of the most linguistically diverse civilizations on the face of earth, and all the languages have one common root.
So now let us go back to our wonderful guest. We have been waiting for a long time now, thanks to his patience. And before I start, I say I have toured Pakistan length and breadth in 2006, but believe me, no frontline media wants to intervene or interview me to understand what is happening there on the ground level. Since 2006, I tried to speak, but no one is interested. But now, in the name of Pakistan, in the name of religion, the Indian polity, Indian politics is going around. The fact is, I have toured length and breadth. In spite of this thing, that eagerness with some wonderful freedom fighters and with all those who have helped me to understand Pakistan and the people of Pakistan and those officials who have really helped me to go around, I really say thanks to you. But in the name of the religion, what is happening in India? I am a son-in-law of Kerala, Kerala Marimagan. And then I still stay in Hyderabad, old city. I am challenging you all those. It's nothing but come and stay in old city of Hyderabad. Or you come to Kerala, stay in Iratupeta, Malabar region, Mallapuram. How can you allow one religion, one sect to become majority in that district, driving away all others, as is happening in Hyderabad? All India Majlis Ittihadul Musliman. I'm taking the name of the party also. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. How many corporator seats they had, how many MLS seat they had, how is that they are winning continuously Hyderabad member of parliament seat? Is it on the basis of secularism, on basis of voting of all civil citizens, all voters, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, or otherwise? Is the same thing happening with Indian Union Muslim League in Mallapuram? And you come to Iratupeta, what is happening there? Let us watch all these things. Why I am saying is, when you try to preach and practice the vote bank politics in the name of religion, again caste wise Hindus are being divided into BCs, again SCs, STs, and what is that the ruling or opposition parties have done to them till now? That should be debated in the parliament, assembly, panchayats and municipalities. Why is that we still continue reservations? Why are we still being divided in the name of economic front? Why this large gap is happening between have and have nots? Only 2% of the elite controlling entire India, and 10% of them almost they are privy to all our natural resources, which should belong to every citizen. हर एक नागरिक का हक है on natural resources. ప్రతి ఒక్క పౌరుడి హక్కు సహజ వనరులపై. కానీ కొద్ది మంది చేతుల్లోనే ఎందుకు ఉంటుంది? ఎంతకాలం? This is should be debated where in a people participatory constitutional democracy, right from panchayats, municipalities, municipal corporations, assembly and parliament. Are we discussing all these things? Why public issues are not being debated? COVID-19 you see in America. Now recently Florida or I don't know Texas, another senator also come out and he has given evidences that this leakage is from Wuhan lab. Why don't discuss? Is it true or not? Why we are not discussing? Prime Minister goes around the world. Prime Minister and all opposition parties go around India for election campaigning. No COVID-19 norms, nothing happens. All of a sudden, why in airports and airlines still create this panic or fear in the name of COVID-19? We have been discussing, challenging the governments world over. Discuss which disease is it, COVID-19 or TB, dengue, malaria, typhoid, which is more fatal or dangerous? Even Supreme Court also have challenged. They don't discuss because we want science, truth, and logic to prevail on any issue. Similarly, one's religious faith or belief, because of extraterritorial faith, which is being controlled by other countries like Saudi Arabia and all, we always find all of a sudden religious structures coming up in your area. The other day, someone from the Vaikam area was discussing, because he's an official. In his village, 2 families migrated minority. All of a sudden, a mosque comes up. We are not against anyone praying, but who is funding? Who is funding? You shout, there should be a school and hospital. But why so many religious structures belonging to one faith in Hyderabad, old city, in Iratupeta, Malabar region, now Kerala also slowly? How can this be seen? So the other side of coin started to understand. Now they started to retaliate. That is when the other political parties also taking advantage of that as vote bank politics. Now they have started. Then they have started, all of a sudden secularism becomes a hot topic. What is secularism? Is it not every citizen, irrespective of caste, creed, or religion, should enjoy all rights and all the natural resources? And this government also, we have been discussing, where is the uniform civil code which you have preached? What happened to population control bill? Why Religious Act 1995 has not been repealed? In 312 majority, the same government will bring electoral bonds bill. Electoral bonds means which political party and which corporate is funding which political party and how much. Public have no information. This is, how can this be in a democracy? Election Commission of India keeping quiet. Can democracy survive? Then why it is not taking up its own issues? What happened to the black money into the accounts of every citizen, poor citizens? Why merger of banks? Why the loans are being written off, but not farmers, students, and common people like us and women folk? We are made to suffer. We are literally made to suffer. So these are the public issues. When farmer will is not getting his right for the crop, when I go to buy to any mall, now see malls have taken place over kirana shops. I am paying high price. I am buying it at a high price. Farmer is not getting a price for his produce. Then who are these? Hoarders. During COVID-19 time, they become rich and they have entered into Forbes also. Our politicians start celebrating. When we commented, they withdrew. How can you do this? Because the resources belong to everyone. So with this, the latest topic on parliament, why again this divisive nature? Fazal Ali Commission is very clear. When the states were divided on linguistic basis, if you want the federal structure to go on, he clearly stated that Hyderabad should be made as the second capital of India. And all the constitutional bodies, CAG, CBI, Supreme Court bench should be relocated in all the 4 regions, so that justice can prevail and people can, citizens can have a privy. Why should they go from all along, from Kanyakumari to Delhi to Supreme Court for justice? Why there should not be a Supreme Court bench in Chennai or Coimbatore? Why not? So all citizens should understand that we have submitted this constitution to ourselves. So we are the constitutional authority, right from prime minister to chief minister, all that bureaucracy, they are all our public servants. Why this fear? Remove this fear. To remove this fear, these channels with wonderful guests like Ravichandran, Swaminathanji, and all those wonderful guests, we have been discussing, debating. Though we differ, we say this is democracy, so that the citizens get enlightened on all the issues, so that they can take a decision on their own, as they are the constitutional authority. Sir, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. So today's topic that I'll be talking about is the SENGOL. It is the SENGOL or the scepter. In English, it is called the scepter. This SENGOL has got a very ancient history behind it. This SENGOL was normally used in all Tamil dynasties, where one king handed over power to another, his son or his successor, by the symbol of the SENGOL. That is the 5-foot long pole, which which is a photo is now available. And this Sengol was given to the high priest over there, the Rajaguru. And the Rajaguru will hand it over to the successor. Or in other words, the successor does not hand over authority directly to the successor. The king does not hand over the Sengol directly to his successor. It goes through the Rajaguru. Now, this is a part of all civilizations. For example, today when you saw King Charles' coronation, there also the coronation, the crown was placed by the Archbishop of England. He placed the crown on King Charles' head and handed over the scepter to him. Same this thing was followed in India also. For the last 1,300 years, when the Chola Empire was at its peak, this scepter was the symbol of authority, and it signified that the king had to rule with righteousness. It is not just authority, it is authority combined with righteousness. The king had to rule so that with dharma, in dharma. That was the symbolism carried on this pole. It was the symbol of his authority, and it could be taken away from him also. That danger was also there. Now, very few people know that one of the greatest of Chola kings, Rajaraja Cholan, when he constructed the big temple, he brought a lot of pandits from Orissa to Tamil Nadu. And without asking the people, the village people, the panchayat people, he granted lands to them. And the panchayats objected to that. They made Rajaraja Cholan the emperor. That time he was in charge of an empire starting from Kashi right up to Indonesia. They made that emperor come before the panchayat and they questioned him. How can you give the land without taking our permission? And he stood before them and apologized. And when he apologized and said, I made a mistake. If you have to punish me, but don't take away these lands because it will ruin the reputation of the kingdom. That is democracy. Today, when the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister says that the Sengol is a scepter of monarchy, no sir, it is not a scepter of monarchy. It is a scepter of authority. It is a scepter of humility. It is a scepter of dharma. It is a scepter of righteousness. The man who holds the scepter should not assume that he is the king for eternity. That is the symbol of this thing. Now, when the Britishers, see, we have lost a lot of our traditions in the period when the Muslims took over, right up to the time when the Britishers came in, and finally till 1947, these people destroyed a lot of traditions which we had. Of course, in the Muslim dynasty, or even in, for example, even in Hyderabad, the Nizams, in their case, the succession was done not by handing over the scepter to the king. It was by handing over the heads of all his brothers to him. No brother will be left alive. So that is the way transition of power was taking place in Muslim Mughal Empire. Aurangzeb killed 4 of his brothers before ascending the throne. Same thing happened with Shah Jahan. Same thing happened with Jahangir. So these people had a different culture. We need not go into that. But in our culture, in our Indian culture, the scepter was a sign of authority to be passed on from one king to another king. Now, when Lord Mountbatten was handing over the power to Jawaharlal Nehru or the Congress party, he asked them what was the ritual to be followed. At that time, Rajaji was there, and he was a very learned person in all our traditions. He said that in ancient times, when the Chola Empire was at its peak, the Sengol was a sign of authority which was passed from one king to another, and the same thing should be adopted here. So immediately they contacted Tiruvadur Adinam and asked that Swamiji to come to Delhi and hand over the sceptre. The sceptre was made by Umudi Bangaru Chetty, a very famous jeweler in Chennai at that time. In fact, the person who made the sceptre is still alive in Chennai. And they made it very carefully with the silver and gold given by the Adinam. It was taken to Delhi by special flight. At that time, Rajaratnam Pillai was the person who sang the Mangala Geetam, because whenever an auspicious occasion takes place, there is a Mangala Geetam, and that Mangala Geetam was given by Rajaratnam Pillai, who was a very famous Nadaswaram Vidwan. And this Sengol was first given to Mountbatten. Mountbatten gave it back to Adinam. And that Swamiji, he first cleansed it with Gangajal, so that all traces of British, this thing should go away from that. And for 15 minutes, the Oduars, they sang verses in praise of Lord Shiva, and then the Adinam handed over the Sengol to Jawaharlal Nehru. Remember, they did not hand it over to the Governor General Rajaji later. They handed it over to Jawaharlal Nehru, because as the Prime Minister of India, he was the person selected or elected by the people of India to reign over them. So the symbol of authority went to the Prime Minister. The Sengol is a symbol of authority. This is the history behind the Sengol. Unfortunately, in Tamil we have a saying, Kalidai ki terima karpura vasna. The donkey does not understand the smell of camphor. Or when you give a garland into the hands of a monkey, what will it do? It will just rip it apart. When this Sengol was handed over to Jawaharlal Nehru as a symbol of authority, the Congress government kept it in a museum in Allahabad with a title saying that it is the walking stick of Jawaharlal Nehru. They reduced that symbol of authority to the walking stick of Jawaharlal Nehru. These people do not know history, they do not know how to appreciate history, they do not know our traditions, they do not know anything about what we are doing. And still every person on the every media channel will talk as though he knows everything and demands president. Why doesn't the president inaugurate parliament? How can the president inaugurate parliament? The president is only a figurehead, a monarch. The president is a symbol of the Indian citizen and equivalent to the King of England. Equivalent to the King of England. Even the King of England, when he comes to Parliament, he has to knock on the doors of Parliament, ask the permission of the Speaker, and then only enter. This is a tradition which has been practiced by the British since King Charles I entered Parliament to arrest 5 people in Parliament, and because of that there was a war, and because of that King Charles lost his head also. And Britain was a republic for about 10-15 years under Oliver Cromwell. People should know history, they should learn from history. Unfortunately, our people do not know that. So this Sengol is to be kept next to the Lok Sabha speaker. because as the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha, he represents the elected voice of the people. So the rightful place for the SENGOL is the Lok Sabha Speaker's podium. It should be placed there. At the time when the Prime Minister is being elected in Parliament, the Speaker will hand over the SENGOL to the Prime Minister to show that he is in power today. And incidentally, for these people who are shouting about the President inaugurating the Parliament, let me make it very clear. Even the Prime Minister has to take the permission of the Speaker before talking in Parliament. So the power is actually with the Speaker, and the SENGOL will be with the Speaker. The President has got no business in the Parliament to inaugurate it or hand over. The President has got no business there. She is above all this. The President is above all this. So what the opposition parties are doing now is stupidity. We have got a wonderful parliament building which was originally suggested by the Congress. Unfortunately, they were not able to do it. Modi has done it, and these people are not able to digest it. This is not the way that the opposition should function. The opposition is there to point out the faults of the government when it occurs and appreciate the government when it does well. That is why in the beginning, when in the forward also, I told you, Dr. Reddy, that yes, this is how an opposition should behave. It is not blindly opposing anybody, not blindly opposing the government for whatever it does. If 21 opposition parties today, they boycott the function tomorrow, inauguration of the new parliament tomorrow, then it is not the loss of the Modi government, it is a loss for the opposition. Because on the 75th year of our independence, when we are to show unity, these people boycott parliament. They are not protecting or saving democracy. They are degrading democracy. They are degrading the will of the people. It is a very unfortunate thing. It is a very unfortunate sight that what the opposition is doing right now. They should not be boycotting parliament. Parliament is where they have to come and tell their opinion if it is against the government. It is the place where they have to raise their voices. They can't boycott it and walk out. They can't run away from the issues. This is sending a very wrong signal to everybody. But unfortunately, the opposition, as I said earlier, the opposition parties are being funded by others, and whoever is funding is calling the shots, and these people are looking like jackasses right now. It is a very unfortunate situation. Now, what is the issue behind this? Now, if the opposition behaves like this, and the person who is holding this SENGOL or the scepter, this is another aspect of democracy which we the people have to look at. Just because if Modi has done something good and is holding this scepter, it does not mean that we have to deify him. We do not have to make him a god, saying that Modi cannot do anything wrong. When he does something wrong, we have to show that he has done something wrong. When he does something right, we have to appreciate what he has done and go ahead. We cannot make him give him a larger than life figure and start adulating him. Once that is done, then we are digging our own graves. I'll just give you a small poem which came to my mind even as we were talking. You must have heard of the poem called The Patriot. It is a story of a patriot, and he was the leader of a revolution. So when he won, he came into the city, and everybody was throwing roses before him for him to walk about, and everybody was showing him incense and camphor and all that, and he was very happy because there was a lot of people lined on both sides of the road welcoming him, and they were asking him, "What do you want?" And if he had said, "Give me the moon," they would have given him the moon. He had that something like what we are seeing with Modi. But 1 year later, the same patriot is being led on the roads handcuffed because he has done a lot of mistakes. He goes with the handcuffs, and at that time, there are people lining the road, and everybody is spitting at him and throwing stones at him. The tables have turned. It was roses, roses all the way, with myrtle mixed in my path like mad. The housetops seemed to heave and sway. The church spires flamed, such flags they had, a year ago on this very day. The air broke into a mist with bells. The old walls rocked with the crowd and cries. Noise repels, but give me your moon from yonder skies. They had answered, and afterwards what else? Alack, it was I who leapt at the sun to give my loving friends to keep. Not man could do have I left undone, and you see my harvest, what I reap. This very day now a year is run. This is the time when that patriot is walking on the street and everybody is throwing stones at him. He thinks about what happened 1 year back when they strewed roses and welcomed him to the city. There is nobody on the rooftop now, just a palsied few at the windows sit. For the best of sight is all allowed at Shambles gate, or better yet, by the very scaffold's foot I trow. That is, he is going to be hanged. I go in the rain, and more than needs, a rope cuts both my wrists behind, and I think by the feel my forehead bleeds. For they fling, whoever has a mind, stones at me for my year's misdeeds. For that entire year, he did something wrong, so people threw stones at him when he was being taken to the gallows to be hanged. Thus I entered, thus I go. In triumphs, people have dropped down dead. Paid by the world, what dost thou owe me? God might question, now instead, it is God shall repay, I am safer so. So that is the reflections of the patriot, and incidentally, this poem came into my mind when you were just talking about it. That is the symbol of authority. Today, yes, it is in your hands, you are the king. But always remember, you make a mistake, the scepter goes into somebody else's hand, then you will be at the door, outside the door, walking in the street with nobody to look at you. Today, 100,000 people will turn up in Australia in a amphitheater to cheer you and say, Modi, 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 Modi. Tomorrow, when this power goes away, you are nobody. Then it will become no Modi. Modi should remember that. As long as he remembers that, when he holds the scepter, democracy is safe. And the responsibility is also on us to ensure that he doesn't forget that we are the power givers. And the power is given to him for the benefit of every citizen in this country. That is the symbol of the SENGOL. Only when people realize that, only then we will be safe as a democracy. Otherwise, Dr. Reddy, you will have to continue your show.
I shall continue. I shall continue eternally because this is an independent platform. Whether it is for democracy or for public issues, this will always be there. Because panchayats, municipalities, are not being allowed to function independently in spite of the amendments 73 and 74. They represent the core population or citizens of India. And when they are not being allowed to function independently, what is that we can expect to be discussed in the floors of assembly or parliament? For that
Correct.
matter, eternally, these channels will always be there till people understand that it is them or it is for them these elected representatives have to function, and it is we all together are the authority constitution. They are all, rest are all public servants, all natural resources, everything belong to us, and they should be administered in a transparent and accountable way. So that is what the story of Sengal is all about. And at least Modi, the government should have made an earnest appeal, or there should have been a discussion or a meeting of all the political parties or discussion on the floor of parliament that we are going to sanction this building, new parliament building, which UPA government itself envisaged, Congress in itself planned. They should have debated. I feel very sorry to say Modi doesn't allow these type of always impositions. It's a sad story of democracy. Imposition from top to bottom. All of a sudden, he doesn't address the media. He doesn't come out to the media, and he never addresses. This is where I feel sorry that a prime minister elected by the people should be responsible to the people, not to the select media, not to those people who try to eulogize the Western powers or the country's heads, because they are all funded by the corporates. And the corporate interests and their citizens' interests are uppermost in their mind. Maybe we have our own non resident Indians still surviving there in a better way, but Modi should address the Indians as a whole because it is democracy. And I thought Shengar, he should have discussed it on the floor of the parliament when he had a chance, stating that we are going to inaugurate this building. Now, this is Shengal we are planning to bring. And what Shengal is, they should have discussed on the floor of parliament. Why it has not happened? It beats my intelligence. All of a sudden, after the loss of Karnataka, and when Yogi Adityanath is becoming popular and powerful in UP, maybe there is an upstage for him in his own political party. That is why even the 2000 note, it should have been a simple, clean note policy. But unfortunately, they were trying to sensationalize it. But in the backdrop, we appreciated Modi for digitalization. Because save for digitalization, because even when you go to even the street vendor, coconut vendor also, he accepts Google Pay. At times, the shops we are not accepting, but he is accepting Google Pay and Phone Pay. That is the saving grace for commoners. That we appreciate because transparency and accountability will come in. But the selective indictment by the ED and CBI when it comes to Tamil Nadu, how is that the 2G scam, which Manmohan Singh did try to figure out the corruption, how is that Kanumoli or Raja? We are not here to again probe anything or pass any judgment. But how is that they are still out? Why CBI or ED did not file any other petition to further the inquiry? Likewise in Karnataka. Likewise, what is happening in Telangana and all? These are all corruption cases. How long they will run? They have shown only Lallu Prasad Yadav, but what about the rest? What happened to other Jayalalitha and Shashikalaji cases? What happened to them? What happened to DMK cases? That is where it beats my intelligence. Are they playing true to their political vote bank? All of a sudden, AAP and BJP start fighting after Karnataka elections. Who stopped Aam Aadmi Party? Satyendra Jain or Sisodia? Why they could not build a public movement? That beats my intelligence. All of a sudden, in between, they make noises and then they forget. Is it again for the fear factor that if Sisodia and Mr. Jain comes out, it will be a power tussle for Kejriwal? Otherwise, why Aam Aadmi Party is not on the streets? And they themselves have played like the ruling fraternity and all opposition together during COVID-19 norms. Why they have not questioned what is there in the vaccines? Yeah, we are ending up. What is there in the vaccines and in the treatment remdesivir? Why no political party? Why they have not taken along with Supreme Court? In and around Delhi, farmers were protesting throughout the year, all seasons. No mandates, no physical distance, no mask, no vaccines. No one talks about that. Like that, these are all the public issues all political parties should be discussing. There may be differences, let them differ, but the debate should happen. in the true spirit of democracy. Only then people participatory constitution democracy will survive. Now, my only question tomorrow, of all opposition parties now, they have boycotted the inaugural function of the new parliament, which is going to happen 2 days from now. What will they do if they win the elections, parliament elections? Are they going to boycott this new parliament? Invested almost 1,000 crores? Will they go back to the old parliament? That beats my intelligence. Last word from Ravichandran ji, because all these things, because I am a Kerala Marimagan, till they come out, men or women, you will never be able to distinguish them whether they are from Christian family, Muslim family, or Hindu family. But now what has happened? My wife has studied. There was never anything like that. They were having only scuff. Now they have become very traditional in a different way. That means the division is very clearly evident. Is this what we have been waiting for in the name of development and welfare? We stand divided by religion, caste, creed, region. Now, even when it comes to parliament, the inauguration of building, we say this is a temple of democracy. Whether it is parliament, assemblies, or panchayats, municipalities, they are all temples of democracy because they represent people. They are elected by people. They are not kings. They are not supposed to impose. The problems, the issues of the people should be debated right from panchayat, municipalities, municipal corporations, assemblies, and parliament. Like that, a law is made so that those issues or problems can be taken care of in a transparent and accountable way. Only then we say the democracy survives. Sir, your last word?
Um, no, you have completed whatever I wanted to say, Dr. Reddy, as usual. United, we will stand together. Divided, we will hang individually, like what is happening in Pakistan right now.
Yes.
They are divided, therefore, the problem is there. Today, it is in an economic mix, a political mix. Of course, Pakistan and India got their independence on the same day. But look where India is, look where Pakistan is. As long as we remain united, we will hang together, we will survive together. If we divide ourselves or allow ourselves to be divided, then we will fail. And this is the idea, unless we realize that this is the ideas of those who are funding the division of India, only that SENGOL should protect us now.
So only that Shengol should protect us. That is the beauty of India, unity in
That is the beauty of
diversity
India.
when it comes to people or soils also. That is the beauty of India.
Yes,
Let us
that
allow
is the beauty.
this multiculturalism to prevail. And at the same time, we should see that the sinister designs by those who oppose such wonderful unity is opposed in a better way, in a democratic way only. So, will opposition boycott this new parliament even if they win parliament elections? That is should be the big story from here, and we should be united, come whatever may. And the constitution provides us that opportunity. That should be practiced, not allowing these vote bank politics, this religious based politics, which are caste based politics or otherwise, which are nothing but discriminating the citizen against one another, devoid of the constitutional spirit. So thank you very much, sir. Do support DRTSPR channel, Citizen DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. We have completed 3 years, and this show will be repeated tomorrow again on Citizens. Hopefully, on Environment People DRTSPR channel Sunday, the inauguration of our new parliament too, because this has become the Sengal has become the base for true democratic values and principles. Thank you very much, sir. Take care. Bye.